little mini chit chat video. Welcome back to another little mini reaction video. Good morning, everyone. It's super early. It's early for me, um, but I had to get up, so I decided I was gonna go ahead and talk about this since I'm up. And yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get into it. So before we do that, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. For my Purple Heart member gang, shout out to you guys in advance. You will see this video. Unless you're available to come through for the live, you guys will see this video once it re-uploads on YouTube. So thank you guys for all of your support in advance. You guys are awesome. So yeah, I wanted to go ahead and talk about the Charlie Kirk situation. Before I go ahead and get into it, I do want to go ahead and extend my condolences to his family and friends and everyone affected by his passing. Um, we don't, no matter personal feelings. I don't condone people losing their life just because they have an opinion. So I don't condone the violence. So I just wanted to go ahead and get that out the way before we go ahead and have this very candid discussion that we're gonna have. So I'm not gonna lie and say that you know I had all this information about Charlie Kirk before all this happened, and I just knew who he was and all this stuff. But what I will say is, I did have a chance to watch one of his debates. It was in the UK. It was most recent. It was like maybe 2 weeks ago. I had a chance to watch his one of his debates when he went to the UK, and I believe it was the students from Oxford. If I don't want to be, yes, I believe it was Oxford. And the student was did an amazing job. Did an amazing job. He had all his facts. He had everything. It was just amazing to watch a young person completely dismantle some of the ideologies and things that were being said. Now, just based off watching that debate and some of the other little comments that he made online. For instance, the comment that he made about if he got on a plane and the pilot was black, he would have to stop and think and say, I hope he's qualified, implying that he's just a DUI hire and all this type of stuff. So that's the type of ideology and that's the space that he was coming from. um, so for people who, are on the other side of things and tend to agree with his type of ideology and that type of stuff, um, they see him as, you know, n- they see him as the person for the youth. They see him as, the person that's like a huge part of their MAGA movement. He was really central to the whole re-election with Trump and JD Vance and all that stuff. So I've done a little bit of research since everything has transpired. I really wasn't sure how I wanted to go ahead and talk about this, just because I'm not the type of person who believes in, you know, glossing things over. People have a tendency to do stuff like that when people, pass away. They tend to um, canonize them to sainthood, and everything they did was just, you know, they could do no wrong when that's not the case because that's not honest. You don't have to agree with everything everyone says. People are entitled to have their own opinion. You don't have to agree with it. Just because you don't agree with somebody's stance or opinion doesn't mean that you wish them harm or that you hate them or that you want bad things to happen to them. I feel like, saying things like that, which is what I was hearing when listening to um, the president of the United States give a speech about this, was it was very divisive. It was very like, you know, um, almost like trying to incite. Oh. I gotta let me be back, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and turn my TV down, and I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Oh my goodness. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I completely forgot my TV was on a timer, and like I said, I literally just woke up, so it kind of just popped on in the background. So sorry about that if you guys could hear that noise. But yeah, so like I was saying, I wasn't really sure if I wanted to go ahead and talk about this just because I didn't want to come across as being insensitive. And I'm completely not being insensitive to the situation. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I don't condone violence in any form, political violence, any type of violence. I don't condone that stuff at all. If you follow me, watch me over the years on this platform, I've never come on here and be like rejoicing when bad things happen to people, no matter how I felt about their opinion or the person as an individual. That's just not something that, as a human being, as a decent person, that I would do. So we're definitely not going to do that. However, um, yeah, I'm not gonna sit up here and pretend like I was this big Charlie Kirk fan and I like bought T-shirts and all that stuff. That was not the case. I did not agree with any of the ideology, any of the stuff that he said. I found it to be, um, yeah, just not my point of view. But like with that being said, I just wanted to go ahead and react to the stuff that's coming out on the social media, from people on the conservative side. I've seen posts talking about, send the military to obliterate the Democrats, inciting violence. Basically, we should get some get back. And it hasn't even come out yet who has done this. They don't have anybody in custody. They don't even know who did this. It's kind of like when Trump got the attempted shooting or whatever happened with him, and they were immediately blaming the Democrats and the liberals. And it turned out the guy, his family was mega MAGA. Like, that's very dangerous to just come out and start blaming people. The last time I remember when he did stuff like this, people somebody went to Nancy Pelosi's house and hit her husband in the head with a hammer, like almost killed him. So I'm not sure like what is the well, I do know what the point is, and I'm gonna get to it, right? Because I'm just gonna speak very bluntly. And again, these are my personal opinions. They don't represent the opinions of everyone. Obviously, these are my personal opinions, and people can disagree. Um, but I just feel that we've seen enough of this stuff, like honest to God. We've seen enough of this stuff. This is like a bad Netflix series. Like I watched the right what was it called again? The West Wing. I watched all of these type of like the political dramas and stuff. Like you can't even write this stuff. It is so like, if you're a person of intellect, someone who likes to someone who enjoys, you know, truth and knowledge and all that type of stuff, you're sitting there thinking like, this is like, this stinks to the high heaven. I'm sorry. There's no other way for me to say it, right? Um, this like it feels like what it is, like a disgusting distraction attempt, right? Clearly, I mean, couple days ago, it was bad news. Bad, bad, bad. Job numbers terrible, in the toilet. Everything going terrible. Russia's about to invade Poland, or nobody's talking about that, right? That's not on the news cycle in North America at all. Now, for the next 2 weeks, all we will talk about is this tragedy that happened, and all the conspiracy theories that will come out of it, and all the rabbit holes that the media is going to go down trying to get to the bottom of this stuff, and the blame game, and the mudslinging, and the hate inciting, and the violence inciting. And the unfortunate thing about this is, at this point, you don't need a crystal ball, right? Somebody else is going to get hurt, unfortunately, right? Because literally, they're crying out for blood on the other side, on social media, all over social media, crying out for death to the Democrats. There, somebody said that the Democratic Party should be considered a terrorist organization. Somebody said round those MFers up. All type of hate is just spewing out online, right? Inciting violence. So clearly, there's gonna be a part two to this. And I mean, how could you not how could you not think that this is a distraction? Unfortunately, sadly, as sad as it is, that's where we are. I saw it in the comments. Somebody commented under one of the news channels running the story that this was an inside job. It was an attempt to distract from everything else that was going on, and it was, that's what it was. And you're sitting here thinking, no custody, nobody in custody. You got an old man, and then you had to let him go because he had a pellet gun, and it wasn't a real. Like, it's just like, what? Why would you think an old man is up on the roof sprinting around with a sniper rifle? Like, what? It just reeks of, like, it don't make no sense. I'm sorry. It's just like a real bad. You're watching like a terrible, 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 terrible Netflix series. Like, it's just, it don't make no sense. Like, if you're somebody who actually uses your brain, you will see, like, this is clearly a smoke screen. And unfortunately, the innocent people are the ones who, pay the price for this type of stuff. They get caught up in all of this stuff, and they end up paying the price. Like, you have to be so careful, when you're believing in this stuff, and want to be part of these movements and all of this type of stuff. You just don't know what's going on. I don't trust anybody anymore. And I literally trust my brain. If I can think it, it can happen. And since I haven't been wrong yet, ever, I mean, ever, I wish I was wrong sometimes, but I have never been wrong. So I always rely on my intellect, right? Um, it's just, at this point, you don't even need to be a political science major to figure this stuff out. All you need to do is turn on your Netflix and watch like a couple seasons of one of these political dramas, and you'll literally see this stuff playing out. It's like art imitating life. And unfortunately, like I said, the innocent people pay the price. So that's just kind of where I stand on it, for real, for real. I just feel that, unfortunately, this is just one of the many things to come as we continue to destabilize, in North America. We're turning into something now. All of a sudden, it's like Democrats and liberals. So in Canada, we have liberals. We don't call them Democrats. You have liberals and you have conservatives. All of a sudden, it's Democrats and liberals. And it started over here too, online, with Canadians going back and forth, people saying the craziest stuff in the comments. And you're just like, what is happening, like, globally? Like, what's going on? Like, what is happening? Well, if you're a person of faith, you know what's happening. So we're not even gonna we're not even gonna get into that. That's a whole other topic for another day. So that's where I stand on it. Like I said, my condolences to Charlie Kirk and his family. Nobody deserves to lose their life for having a personal opinion, and nobody deserves to be a pawn in political games and mudslinging and all that type of stuff. Nobody deserves that. And it's sad and unfortunate that this is the world that we live in today. And unfortunately, we're going to be back here again soon talking about this again and somebody else, because if you're reading the comments and the things that I'm reading online, like this is just like the tip of the iceberg, unfortunately. So yeah, you guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Let me know your opinion. We can talk about it. Um, be civilized, and I'll be civilized back. And yeah, we'll catch up in another video. Stay up and stay blessed. Deuces.